which we live, people wonder why. Peace of mind's so hard to find. It doesn't matter what they try. But God said there is hope for you. Trust and see. Hope TV. Don't give up. There is peace of mind for you to find. Hope TV. There is peace and hope. Hope for everyone. We're God's family. He's got a plan for you. There's so much to do. Helping out people everywhere.
Hey, hello, welcome to Hope TV. My name is Herson Gonzalez. So excited that you're with us for another exciting episode of Hope TV. I am with my life partner, my wife, my baby boo, Valerie Gonzalez. Hi, baby girl.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm still a little bit, sounding like you.
Sounds?
Yeah, I have my manly voice on.
It's Demi Moore. Can you say Demi Moore?
Because
it does more.
He calls it my sexy voice.
Yeah, it's like more sexy. Yeah, it's pretty. I like it.
Yeah, because I can't yell at him. I can't shout. And that's sexy.
Not so much. Today we have a very exciting show. I want you to stay tuned throughout. We have a guest today. We have videos for you today. We have statistics for you today that I think you're going to find very interesting. And I want to start off by saying, today I was doing homework with my daughter. And oh God, save me.
Yes.
I love my daughter.
Yeah, we
absolutely
totally
love my daughter.
Totally.
I hate doing homework with her.
You know what I really, bothers me? That she's brilliant. She's brilliant. And
she's like somebody I know that gets distracted a lot.
No, I don't.
What?
I knew you weren't talking about me.
Squirrel! What? But she'll sit with you and she'll find 100 reasons why not to do the work. And when she goes to school in the morning and I drop her off, there's a piece of me that wants her to stay in the car, but my foot says, get out!
Yeah. Well,
because raising your children and educating your children are different.
Yeah, it is totally different. There's a different type of education in life. But actually, a lot of people are taking these principles, these education principles that they've learned, and they're applying it in their homes for homeschooling.
They're my heroes.
Homeschooling, do you know that it's a legal option that parents have everywhere, not just here in the United States, it's other countries that will allow you to do homeschooling. It's instead of just public schools, you can teach your children.
Yeah, our guest today has decided to take the option of homeschooling and raise 3 of her children at homeschool. And it's been incredible, the results, but the determination and dedication. Happens to be someone I'm related to. I went down to Virginia and saw her school, her house. You were with me.
It was amazing.
See their rooms and the hallway, and it looked like a first grade, 5th grade and 9th grade hallway. It was amazing what they did.
And you might be watching this show and saying, well, homeschooling, I don't even have kids.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch this one.
This has nothing to do with me, but truthfully, if you watch the rest of the show, just stay with us. You might find some really interesting statistics about what your country is looking like, because here in the United States, it's staggering the amount of people that are choosing to homeschool versus sending their children to school.
And what I like about what I'm seeing in the homeschooling world is that there's a network of people that are supporting one another. And our guest today is going to be here to tell you not just her successes. She's going to be honest about where she was disappointed and where she failed. And I think that if we only look at our successes, we won't really learn. We have to look at where we failed to be able to be stronger at this. And I think that the people that are making the decision to homeschool, they need all the support that we can give them. And that's why Hope TV is doing this today.
I don't think people really realize what a great commitment it takes. One or two things is going to happen when you homeschool. Either you're going to give up on the first year, but you will appreciate the teachers a lot more than what you did the last year.
When you send them back, you're going to send cookies to the teachers. I mean, you're going to know what
do you need? Whatever you need.
Your own children.
I'm your gal,
Quickly, in 2008, more than 2 million children were at homeschool in 2008. Look at the difference. 2003, there were only 850,000 students enrolled in homeschooling. that means that in the last few years, it's grown by 15% every year, the number of parents that are keeping their kids home. That says something about our educational system, but it also says about something about, and a large majority of these people are Christian parents that are that want not just the economic and not just the school stuff being taught, but the spiritual stuff.
Yeah, because, you know, we're trying to be a little bit more careful of what our children are exposed to and what environment. And as we can see, the environment, even in our schools, are changing because we can't always control the behavior of other children as we would our own.
Yeah. Well, in the other side of this quick break, we're going to bring in our guests, and we want you to see this quick video. We'll be back right after these messages.
Task of a home, social network, and school is to prepare children to function optimally as adults, to obtain the skills necessary to earn a living for themselves, to become responsible citizens, and find satisfaction in life. Is the public school the only place that can teach these skills?
Homeschoolers have no social life.
Homeschoolers are like those animals that live in caves for all their lives. And then they come out into the sun, and they're freaked out and their eyes start burning.
Homeschoolers are not involved in any activities whatsoever. Homeschool kids don't know how to adapt to college environment.
They're ginger babies.
Yeah, I do.
I do. I really love being homeschooled. I love it.
Yeah, I do. I did. I really did. I wouldn't change a thing.
I loved it. My parents would actually threaten to call the public school and enroll me when I was not being a very good student, and that would always make me behave immediately.
Typical day. Let's see. We would get up in the morning, and it was early. Most people think you get to sleep in, but for us it was early. And we'd have a scheduled routine. We would get up, we would read in the morning, then we go and do our chores, we eat breakfast, and then we start school. Let's see, we did school till about lunch, and then we would, you know, take a break for lunch, and then we do the rest of our school throughout the day, like stuff we didn't meet my mom for. We just do, we called it homework, even though it was all at home.
My typical day being homeschooled was, I would always get up late, especially in high school, because my mom figured out that my schedule would always work better if I was able to start after my siblings. So she would do my siblings' schoolwork in the early morning, and then I would get up probably like 10 or later and get all my stuff done after they were done. And so then I would be doing schoolwork with her probably till just after lunch time, maybe 1:30, and then I might have a little bit of homework to do on my own. But I was pretty much done by early afternoon.
I usually get up around 6:30, and I'd start right away on a few subjects. I'd get 1 or 2 subjects done before breakfast, around 8-ish, eat breakfast. Then I'd do school till about noon or 1, depending on the day. And then I would, you know, take a break for the afternoon, and I'd usually get some school done in the evening, too. That's just what I would like to do.
I do choir,
Basketball,
Softball, and fencing right now. Girl Scouts,
Bible quizzing.
I take piano lessons.
Our class.
Involved in choir.
Played some basketball for 2 years.
I was in dance,
Soccer,
piano lessons, swimming on a swim team.
English, Algebra 2,
Like history and
Math, Chemistry,
Art,
Bible,
world religion,
American History, Geography.
I took the ACT in October, and I'll be taking it again, trying to improve my score a bit in April.
I did the ACT.
Took the PSAT and the ACT.
I took the SAT.
Just took the PSAT.
It's simply not true. That is definitely a myth.
That's
not true.
It's a common myth. That's exactly what it is. It's a myth.
I've always had friends, and I'm out several times a week. I actually am pretty busy, so I'm around people very often, and I'm not like missing a social life at all.
We have every opportunity as homeschoolers to meet people, to interact socially with other people through the homeschool world and also outside the homeschool world through just those different activities we've done, through church programs, through all kinds of things. So I definitely think that is a myth.
And recently the problem has become keeping my social life, down to a certain level so I can get all my studies done.
It's different, totally. I mean, it's a different philosophy and a different style of learning. I was a lot of homeschooling to self-teaching or, a computer program teaching you, these professors or whatever. I like it. I think it works.
Having been in both worlds, I can say I for sure miss the freedom of homeschooling and the independence to do my own thing and work at my own pace and learn what's important to me and not have all the teachers. I don't like having the teachers different as much because you got to get used to all their schedules on top of the stress of doing all the homework, and it's harder that way. So if anything, I want to be homeschooled again.
Being homeschooled has made me more diligent with my work, having been, made to do work. Even without people telling me to do it, I would have to do it. And so I think that's helped me a lot to get into that college life.
No matter what.
It depends. I'm thinking I probably will.
Yes, I would, for the good influence. Is just being able to do it. I don't know. I don't know if I could teach as well as my mom did, but I definitely try.
Yeah, I definitely would. I really like to be involved in their education, in their learning, what they study, and especially the aspect they come at it from.
Obviously, we want them to have a well-rounded education, but we also want to have the ability to control the message to a good extent.
Morally, when they were younger, we wanted to desire to keep them pure and away from influence of the world, but now at this age, in their high school, a couple in our high school years, they choose to be homeschooled because they don't like what's in the school system, the public school system.
One of my sons was gifted, and I did go to the public schools, and they did not have any program to fit him into, or a private school. It wouldn't have been a good fit either. So,
peer dependency was becoming a driving force, and we thought it was producing devastating consequences, which we saw for youth and for their families. So my husband and I decided that if we did not want the outcomes that we saw, we'd have to take a different approach with our children's schooling. And so parent-directed education made good sense as an alternative to us.
Absolutely.
Yes, I believe every parent should be able to homeschool their children.
And I'd have to say yes.
Yes, I would. But I also understand that it's also not feasible or right for all parents to do.
Time spent varies a lot with the number of children and their ages. When I had 4 children at home, it did take most of my day, every day. Now my youngest is a senior in high school, and so he and I interact on a school basis, maybe a half an hour to an hour a day at the most.
Kind of 2 different age groups. I have the older group and I have a younger group. So my younger group I'm definitely very involved with. My older group, the 2 older ones, I'm more as a liaison or director.
Explaining, giving them their assignment, making sure they're doing it correctly. The 12-year-old, he does a lot on his own. He comes to me if he needs help or if he needs encouragement or correction.
homeschooling is a choice made by more and more families each day. So what are the things, what are some of the things that parents need not to do? We have someone with us that has come, and she has many years of experience. She homeschooled 3 of her children. We personally witnessed this. This is Pastor Hurston's sister, Marilyn Santiago Rosa.
Hey, let me hear some any noise in the back. Hey! Thanks for nothing. Anyway, I'm so happy to have my sister with us today. Marilyn is going to share a little bit of her experience. This is a subject that's very near and dear to your heart. Yes. And from a little brother's perspective, I mean, you were a superwoman to me when I was growing up, watching you raise those kids and bringing them to school. And now, every time I get a chance to speak with them, they're so articulate. They're brilliant. They really are brilliant, and they know the word inside and out. So let's talk a little bit about your experience in homeschooling. Why did you do it?
Wow, I was about 7 months pregnant with my 4th child when the Spirit of God said, "This." Did you say the 4th child? Yes, the 4th child. And the Spirit of God said, "This is what you're going to do." I felt this strong need and yearning to spend some serious time with my kids on learning the Word of God, teaching them strong Christian morals, and also helping them build their characters. And at an early age, every time I had each one of my children, the Spirit of God would show me what their purpose was for their lives.
That's right.
So I felt that homeschooling would be the best way to take a few years out of their lives to make sure that they had the foundation that they needed.
That's right.
So I had my 4th child in August.
Elias.
No, my 4th child.
Layla.
Layla.
Forgot about Layla. Sorry, Layla.
Yeah. 4th child in August and started homeschooling that September. So I had a newborn baby. But God was so good. He put people around me, which is something I'd love to talk to everyone about this, is to have the people that they need around them to do this. God had put the right people, so it was the right time, the right place, and it was God who helped me through it.
So we're going to talk about things not to do.
Okay.
What are some of the things that people shouldn't do that are homeschooling?
People should not get discouraged by negative comments. If God has called you to do this, and you have it in your heart, that God will put in your heart that you have to spend some serious time with your children, and the best time to do is when the children are younger.
Right.
And you'll hear a lot of negative words, and mostly by family members. You know, your grandma, you know, the kid's grandma, grandparents.
What are you doing with those children?
Send
them to school. They're not going to develop social skills.
Right, and that's a myth that there is. In people believe that the kids don't have the right amount of social.
They should just meet any one of your children. That's all the evidence we need.
And another thing that I'd like to tell the parents out there, the homeschoolers that are out there, or those that are considering homeschooling, is one of the things is don't send your young children to school. We're talking preschool, kindergarten. Those are the most precious years and the most years of molding that child. You taught your child how to potty train. You taught your child how to eat. You taught your child how to speak. You teach him all his first words. Many times we teach him 2 languages. Why can't you teach him how to socialize? Why can't you teach him how to count 1, 2, 3? Why can't you teach your child how to pray? Why can't you teach your child the right and wrong? Those first few years are very, very important.
And it's critical for their development, I understand.
Definitely.
They say before the child is 4 years old, the core of their character is set.
Yeah.
Before they're 4 years old.
I still remember the time that I spent with my son Jazz. It was so precious, and I would get a kick just out of, you know, I was trying to keep a lot of Spanish in him, you know, so I would ask him, so he, you know, would touch his eye. So all these things, and there is a pride to know he learned that from me. You know, I was instrumental in
every time he picks his nose, I think of you. Nariz.
and
he's 13. Gonna be.
And another thing I do want to share is don't think homeschooling is always going to be hard or that it's always going to be easy. You know, every month is different. Every year is different. You just have to pace yourself and figure out, you know, okay, this is what we're going to accomplish now. We're going to make it through and start. Don't quit. You start and quit. You're teaching your child to quit when this stuff gets going.
That's right. Wow. Yeah, that's very important. You don't really think about that. And many people enter just saying, this is a trial period.
Marilyn, how do you go about choosing? Do you have to buy a program for every class? I mean, how do parents go about choosing that?
There are different ways you can choose your curriculum. When your child is only in kindergarten, first, second grade, you can go to the local bookstore and get, you know, the basics of math and reading. And so that's simple. That's very easy. Now, when you get into the higher grades, or you're trying to think of which math do I use, which science book do I use, you really have to get to know your child to know what type of curriculum to get for them. And we can go into details as to where they can find these things. There are resources out there, but we want to be able to tell you a lot more, so we can talk about that later.
And it ought to be fun. I mean, the kids are home.
Yes.
How can they have fun doing this?
Oh gosh, how can they have fun? One of the things we did to learn about cooking and measurements. You know, take your kid to the kitchen and help them figure out how a recipe works. One of the things we did, we would go to the local bakery, and they were homeschool friendly. So we would take the kids into the bakery, and we would go in the bakery itself, the bakery area, and they would teach them measuring.
It's like a field trip.
Right.
Yeah.
Every field trip is a learning lesson. So homeschooling is all about finding how to do it fun, and so that the children will learn.
I'm going to start to homeschool my son, and I'm going to take him to the golf course where I will teach him about nature. Yeah. And we'll do nature walks.
Yeah.
But apparently there are a lot of really famous people that people would identify really handily that have been homeschooled. You told me just before we started, Thomas Edison, Einstein,
yeah,
was homeschooled.
Serena and Venus Williams,
yes.
Alpha and Sika, the Samoans. No.
No, but you know, there are some great musicians, Mozart, you know, those type of musicians that actually was homeschooled.
Wow.
So.
Well, let's watch this video that we've got, show you a couple of faces of people that have been homeschooled. See how many you can name. number of people starting homeschooling is consistent with the growth of the national Latino population as well. Latinos are starting to catch on to this frenzy, especially of us that are people of faith that are not happy with some of the things that are being taught to our children at a very early age. I mean, there's a class that my daughter came back and told me, it's called Health, where she was telling me stuff that they're teaching her that I wasn't ready to talk about with my daughter. And I was amazed. I was in shock, and it pushed me ahead of my schedule to talk about some things that I had to talk with my daughter about.
And they decided for you.
Yeah, they didn't send me the curriculum. It was a decision they made for my child. And so more Latinos are joining, and I know that there's groups for religious folks and groups for like-minded people, but Latinos are starting to get a lot more into this. What's out there for them?
How right now in the percentage-wise, how many Latinos do you think are there some statistics that are showing us how many Latinos are actually homeschooling?
When I researched, I didn't find, how many of these are Latino families, how many of these are American, but being Latino myself and having been in this community for so many years, I see that the Latino families are being a lot more involved in their kids' education than way back when, our generation, when our parents were raising us. And so I'm finding as I visit other churches or other groups, I see that there's more Spanish. When I was homeschooling my kids, and we're talking 19 years ago, that infant that was in my belly or that was born when I was homeschooling is now 19 years old. Back then it was like 10 to 1, Latinos to the other nationalities or American, let's say. But I am curious to know how many Latinos are out there that are either considering it or have ventured into it.
So this is another opportunity for you to meet us on Facebook on Hope TV, H.O.P.E.E.TV, and write some of your comments. If you're a homeschooler, we want to hear from you.
We'd love to hear
from you. If you're a child that's being homeschooled, go. I mean, you're supposed to be 18 to be on Facebook, but I've seen some of you cheating. So if you've been homeschooled, why don't you just give us your take or your perspective?
We want to be able to connect people that may be homeschooling or Latinos that may not know that they're close to another network. So if Hope could be the hub for that, we'd be so pleased to provide that forum where people can come together. So we're saying there's a lot of places to go, do your research, but if Hope TV can be a part of it, we want to be a part of that.
So do they have different needs than, let's say, the American homeschooling families, the Latinos?
I would say that they do have, in the sense that we have our own culture.
Yes.
We're somewhat mixed, but when you're homeschooling your child and when you have your child, your culture becomes a lot more important to you than when you were a child. So you want to instill certain things in your children. And I'm finding that those families that want those deep Latino roots to be instilled in their children are making that decision of keeping their kids home for a little while, for a few years, or even keeping them throughout, their lives, to teach them the culture that they have, teach them the language, teach them the religion that they believe in.
And I think it's really important to point out that, especially to Christian families, that one of the main things that the scripture speaks to us about is that we need to write things upon the hands of our children, upon their foreheads. It also says that we should mentor, the women should mentor the daughters, and the husbands should mentor the sons. So it's the Bible calls us to really make this a priority in our lives.
Right, and I want to disagree with something you said in the beginning.
Yeah, my wife does it all the time.
Okay. I'd like to point out that a lot of times the parents believe that raising your child and teaching your child are two different things. In reality, we need to understand that it's all one. You bring your child and you're raising your child, you're teaching your child.
Absolutely.
If you're a liar, you're teaching your child to be a liar.
That's right.
If you're a thief, you're teaching your child to be a thief. Now, if you're a good Christian father, he's learning how to be a good Christian man.
Right.
If you're a good Christian mom that's helping and supporting and is looking for every opportunity to learn and to apply God's word into their lives, they're learning. So raising our children should be teaching our children.
That's right. And so I hope that everybody's catching the heart of it. I wish we had more time. We've run out of time, can you believe it? But we certainly hope that you can hit our page on Facebook for more information, Hope TV. on YouTube. It's Hope TV 18 for more information. On behalf of everybody here at Hope TV, we thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
There is peace of mind for you to find. Hope TV. There is peace and hope, hope for everyone. We're God's family. He's got a plan for you. There's so much to do, helping out people.